Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Tally Pat Palmer and today I'm going to be talking about the last 2 months of horror packs, so the April and May horror packs. And we'll start off with April's, and I will start with the most disappointing one, Deathcast. Deathcast is a slasher about these people, these actors and actresses who applied to be in the film, and of course they all meet up and get transported to the place where they're going to be staying until they make the film. But unbeknown to them, when they get there, the house is empty and there's a killer amongst them, you know. So it was, as the slasher goes, it was very disappointing because I thought there was going to be a bit more action. Basically, there was cameras everywhere filming them, seeing what they were going to do. And I still don't know what happened at the end because, you know, loads of parts of the film were quite silent where they have been watched and all that. So, yeah, it was kind of a difficult, well, probably not for people who have got a lot of sight, but I found it extremely hard viewing because I couldn't work out what was going on half the time. So that was Deathcast. You know, I'd probably give it, if it had more audio and a bit more going on for it, I would have ranked it higher. But I give it about maybe 1.52 out of 5. So I was very disappointed in it because, you know, I couldn't work out what happened at the end. I couldn't work out halfway what was happening, you know, because I believe, you know, they had the final person. I'm not going to spoil it, but I'm not sure. But yeah, that was Deathcast. Really disappointing. The next was The Final Wish. Now, I don't really go for these sort of films because, like, they're a bit ghosty and all that. But it was okay, you know, it was quite decent. I'd watch it again. But basically, it starts off with this guy who has a relic, and it's been making wishes. And of course, if you make a 7th wish, you die. So obviously he's made about 6 wishes. So he cuts out his tongue. His daughter finds him, you know, in the process of it. So she's trying to save him and from doing any further injury to himself. And obviously we meet up with them further in the film, where a teenage boy has now got the relic and is making all the wrong decisions because, you know, his dad died. His mum wants the dad to come back. He wants the dad to come back because, you know, actually I don't think he's a teenage boy. No, sorry, he's a lawyer. He's a lawyer, but he's getting kicked out of his apartment. Yeah, he's getting kicked out of his apartment because, you know, he owes like $3,000 in rent, which is a ridiculous amount for rent. But anyway, yeah, so he goes back home to visit his mum and, you know, trying to make things right because, you know, he hasn't been seen by his family or friends for quite a long time. So but, you know, he's trying to make the $3,000 to pay his rent by selling all his dad's stuff, and his mum just totally freaks out and makes a total scene of herself. But, you know, he has this relic. He starts making wishes like his dad. He wants to see his dad again, so the dad comes back. Then he wishes him away. And, you know, there's a neighbour's dog he doesn't like, and he wishes that to go away. And obviously the dog dies. And spoiler, sorry, well, it's not really a spoiler. But the neighbour who runs the dog is devastated and blames the guy. Obviously he's trying to get... he likes a girl from his school days, so he's trying to help her because she's having problems with men and all that. So, but he just like it. He makes like about 5 wishes. Then they work out, you know, what's happening. So they've gone to like people and like you know, they've gone to the dad who cut his tongue out in the start of the film. And because he's, you know, cut out his tongue, he can't speak, but he's got his hands cuffed to a wheelchair. So he's trying to write, saying, don't make a 7th wish, otherwise you're going to die. And of course, you know, it's called The Final Wish, so no spoilers. But I'd give this film maybe a 3 out 3.5 out of 5. You know, I did enjoy it to a certain degree because but this is not normally my sort of film. Right, the next one is Pay the Ghost with Nicolas Cage. I haven't got very many Nicolas Cage films. I've got maybe about 4 or 5. And this was, I've never seen it. Again, because it's got Ghost in the title, I thought, it's not really going to be for me. But I did really enjoy this one. Especially this Nicolas Cage is playing his dad who's, obsessed with work and tries to make it home in time for Halloween for his kid because he wants to go trick-or-treating and carve a pumpkin and go to the fun fair, and of course this kid starts seeing things through the window and draws the picture, and his mum's like, what are you drawing that for? It's really scary. And he goes, well, that's what I'm seeing. And of course, the mum just dismisses it. But then when it's Halloween, the dad has come back and wants to spend 15 or 30 minutes with him in the fun fair because his mum wants him to go to bed. So they're getting an ice cream, and suddenly the kid chimes up saying, Dad, can we play the ghost? And the dad doesn't really understand the question, so he just keeps going back to the ice cream. And then suddenly he vanishes, and obviously Nicolas Cage character turns around and he's running and shouting, his son's name, which I think is Charlie. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's Charlie. And he's, he goes home saying it's his son there, and the mum freaks out like, you lost him? And like, I thought he came back here, and like they spent a year trying to find him. That they're annoying police because there's been no response, there's been no answer, and then they start seeing visions of the little boy, and of course they work out, that other kids have been taken during Halloween, and it's only a small chance to get him back safely and some of the other children. And I really did enjoy this, again, because it's got ghosts in it. I'm not really a fan of ghost films, but thanks to Horror Pack, I've seen more ghost films in like the past year than I ever have before. So yeah, I really did enjoy this. I'll give it about 4, maybe 4.5 out of 5. I really did enjoy this one. And the most fun I've had out of April's Horror Pack was Full Moon High. Again, I thought this was going to be really cheesy, and it's a good time, it's a good laugh. Basically, this dad and his son go, I can't remember the country, but they go to spy, and the dad's a bit of a player, so he's trying to get all these women to, sleep with and tell them secrets, national secrets. And the son is just basically, well, I'll have to sleep in the lobby again in the hotel. And he goes out and, he finds a palm reader, and she's like, oh, you're going to be in trouble. And a waiter goes, what's happening? And he obviously looks at the hand and goes, oh, you're going to be in trouble. So basically, he ends up getting attacked by a wolf and turns into a wolf guy. And he's hearing violin music, and basically he's like told, well, you're going to have to travel until you get sick of it, or break the trigger, which is play the last game of American football at his school. And of course, because he's not an agent when he's a wolf, he drops out of school, and then 20 years later he comes back. But people are starting to recognise him because he's got a scar on. I believe one of the characters said he's got a scar under his eye. So she recognises him. She wants him because she's not happy in her own marriage. And all kicks off from there because he's getting found out. I did find it funny when he's leaving the town that he lived in, because he had to go because he kept biting people. He wasn't killing them, but he was biting them. He was being called the Nibbler in the papers, I believe. And of course, he steals this bus, and when he's transformed into a wolf, and kicks out all the bus driver and the passengers, and years later he ends up in the taxi, and it's the bus driver that's driving the taxi, and he goes, "You owe me $87,000 or something like that, because I had to pay for that goddamn bus." And I thought that was quite funny. So yeah, I really had fun with this. So yeah, I'll give this a 5 out of 5. I did enjoy this. It's a good laugh. And now we go on to May's pack, which I did accidentally say it was a June's pack in on my Twitter feed, but I got confused with the months. So this is May's horror pack. And the first one is The Last Compartment. Now, I couldn't watch this because it's not in English, which I was really disappointed about because it sounded quite good. It sounded like mystery, and basically people are travelling through snowy mountains and the train comes off the line, and they get covered in snow and they have to be waiting to be saved by officials. But of course, the last compartment has gone missing because it's derailed. It's got further along than the other compartments, so, and it's under snow, so the people in the last compartment are having to getting freaked out. They're not trusting each other. They have to work out how to survive. And that's what I got from what I read about it. But the fact that I think it's in German, which it's fine if you speak and read German, but I couldn't understand anything. I watched about 10 minutes thinking it might have an audio dub, English audio dub, but it doesn't, that I'm aware of. But so I was kind of disappointed because this is the one I really wanted to start off with for last month's, but I couldn't. So yeah, I can't rate it because I never watched it. Next one up with a slipcover is Itsy Bitsy. This is about a family, a mum with a son and a daughter who suddenly moved from New York to the middle of nowhere to work for this, I believe he's a disabled guy or you know, of ill health. I'm not actually sure if he's disabled or just old and ill health. So they come to work for him, and the mum's obviously got a problem with popping pills. That's why she got fired from her old job, I believe, because she popped pills, and obviously her negligence ended up killing someone, I believe, from what I gathered. But like, the son is bored. You know, he's having to take care of the little sister because the mum's never around. He's going into the guy's house. He learns about like these ancient spiders who are like a goddess, and you know, they're evil, but people worship them. And the disabled guy or elderly guy ends up being killed by the spiders, and of course the son knows what's happening, but the police and his mother aren't believing him because, you know, who would believe of killer giant spiders? I mean, so he tries to work out how to stop them, and of course him and his little sister try and work out where to go and destroy them. And of course their mother wakes up one night to find them gone, and she's trying to locate them. She ends up seeing what the son has said about all the time, and she's freaking out because she's having visions and throughout the movie, and you know, she's making this woman cop, I can't remember her name, but this woman cop is suspicious of her. But all she wants to do is just try and move on with her life, but she gets yanked into like this hell with spiders. So it was okay. Wasn't brilliant again. You know, I thought this month was gonna be like wow, but it was okay. I'd give this one about a 3.5 out of 5. I'll watch it again, but it wasn't what I thought it was gonna be. Well, I don't know if that's the right word, but it was just okay for me. Okay, the next one is The American Mummy. This I thought was going to be like the Brendan Fraser Mummy. I thought it was going to be fun. I thought it was going to be a bit of a comedy, a horror comedy, obviously. But this, I think, apart from The Last Compartment, this has to be the second disappointment because it wasn't what I was expecting, and like this time it wasn't what I was expecting. Basically, these students go out into the middle of New Mexico, I believe, as a project for school, and they end up finding like this mummy, an American mummy, obviously, rather than an Egypt mummy, and basically a virus starts wiping them out, and I thought it was going to be more actiony, but it's just a virus starts wiping them out, taking them over, killing them. Then they've got to try and fix the fan to get out of the place, because like they start dying one after one, and they turn on each other. You know, the guys are fighting, the girls are scared, and yeah, I just. No, I didn't feel this one, so yeah, I'll give this maybe a 3 out of 5. Yeah, totally disappointed in this one. And now the final one is The Lesson. I had watched someone else's video on YouTube. I believe they were called Blood Bath and Beyond. I'll try and put a link in the description if I remember. That watched the trailer, and basically they had seen it before but said it was a slow burn. Now this was a slow burn. It's only about an hour and a half, maybe an hour and 40 minutes, but it's it goes through about 2 different stories. I mean, first of all, the main story is like these teenagers are causing havoc around the town, and they're disobedient in school, and like they're making the teachers life's a nightmare. And of course, one teacher has had enough and ends up drugging them and taking them to an abandoned warehouse where he tortures them in order to learn. Which I thought this was gonna be a bit like Saw, but it wasn't as gruesome as that. So. But I thought it was going to be a bit like Saw. Then you've got this other story that, because it fades in and out. It cuts to... So you've got this other story where... I didn't actually know what was going on in the second story, You have this girl who's maybe got an abusive mother and abusive sort of father or something. The father and mother are separated, but... I couldn't work out what was going on in that, but I was more interested in, the torture, basically, because that's what, that would have sold the film. But it was, because the teacher's torturing them in order to learn, because he just wants to get kids to learn, and he's reading out all these poetry and all these old classic English literature titles, and how getting them to look up words like noun, what a noun is, what an adjective is, and just like at one point of the film, it was quite near the end, I believe. He said, the teacher said, I've got £50,000 worth in first editions, and I'd give them all up if just one child could learn. And of course, because he's kidnapped children, a couple survive, because they kill the teacher. Sorry, spoiler alert, but, it wasn't going to work out for the teacher anyway, because... But then they rob him of the first editions. And so, at the end of the film, which I thought was just, bittersweet. I thought that was a bit funny, but... Yeah, I'd give this one... maybe a 3 again. It wasn't... It could have been a bit more fast-paced in what I'm saying. And just like... a bit more gruesome, a bit more torture-y. But it was good. I kind of enjoyed it. Even though it was a long stretch for an hour and a half, hour 40 minutes. So, yeah. And that was April and May's horror packs. Sorry that I've had to group them together. Just I got a bit behind, so I had to play catch up. So hopefully, if you enjoyed the horror packs review, like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. Thank you. Bye.